The car door slammed shut behind her, and Ariel barely registered the soft click of the locks engaging. Rain hammered against the windows as she collapsed into the leather seat, gasping for breath. Her phone buzzed with her roommate's text. "I'm in the gray Honda, back row." This was definitely not a Honda. "I'm so sorry. Wrong car," she started, reaching for the door handle. "Don't." The single word, spoken in a calm baritone with a slight accent, froze her hand mid-reach. The driver hadn't turned around. The car began moving. "Wait, please, I need to get out." Her voice cracked. "This is a mistake." "I know." He adjusted the rearview mirror and she caught a glimpse of dark eyes, angular features. Young. Maybe late 20s. "Sit still." That was the moment she realized she had entered the wrong car. If you enjoy emotional stories like this, subscribe now. You won't want to miss what happens next. Her heart slammed against her ribs as she yanked the door handle. Locked. Child safety locks. The kind you can't override from the inside. Through the rain-streaked window, she saw two black SUVs flanking them, moving in perfect formation. "Who are you?" She pressed herself against the door, fingers scrambling for her phone. "Someone who needs you to stay calm for the next 3 minutes." His voice remained unnervingly steady. "We're being followed by cameras. If you panic, this becomes much worse for both of us." "Cameras?" She twisted to look behind them. Flashes. Multiple cars. "What the hell is happening?" "You got into my car at the busiest pickup zone on campus. 30 seconds later, every gossip site in Seoul had the photo." "Seoul?" Her mind reeled. "I go to school in Boston." "I'm aware." He turned onto a private road, the SUVs still trailing. "Han Jae-min, you've probably never heard of me, but my family owns most of the tech manufacturing in South Korea. Which means, what just happened is now international news." Ariel stared at the back of his head, her journalism major brain trying to process. Korean billionaire, wrong car, photos. This couldn't be real. "I just wanted a ride to my dorm," she whispered, "and I just wanted to visit MIT's AI lab without my father's security team breathing down my neck." He pulled into an underground garage, the SUVs parked on either side. "Now we both have a problem." The garage was pristine, expensive, terrifying. As the engine cut off, she finally saw him clearly in the rearview mirror. Sharp jawline, tired eyes, a fading bruise on his cheekbone he'd tried to cover with makeup. "What happened to your face?" His expression hardened. "My father's disappointment takes many forms." The casual way he said it made her stomach turn. She recognized that tone, the one that made trauma sound like weather. "I'm getting out now," she said quietly. "And you're going to let me?" "Of course." The locks clicked open. "But before you do, you should know your name is already trending. Ariel Thompson, sophomore, journalism major, full scholarship. They work fast." Her blood went cold. She grabbed her phone. 17 missed calls. 43 texts. Her Instagram notifications had exploded. The first headline she saw made her stomach drop. Korean heir's secret black girlfriend revealed. Gold digger or true love? "No." She scrolled frantically. The comments were vicious. "No, no, no, I don't even know you." "The internet doesn't care." He finally turned to face her. "They have photos of you getting into my car. Smiling. They're writing the story they want. And trust me, they won't be kind to either of us." "So tell them the truth." "I did. 20 minutes ago. My PR team released a statement." He showed her his phone. The statement was buried under think pieces about interracial relationships, poverty hunters, and speculation about her character. "My father called it a disaster. My mother called you a distraction. The shareholders are demanding I clarify my intentions." Ariel felt tears burning behind her eyes. This morning she'd been worried about her economics midterm. Now strangers were debating whether she was pretty enough, worthy enough, calculating enough to trap a billionaire. "What do you want from me?" Jaemin stepped out of the car and opened her door. "I want to offer you a deal, but first I owe you an explanation, and probably dinner. You look like you're about to pass out." "I'm not hungry." Her stomach growled, betraying her. He almost smiled. "There's a restaurant upstairs. It's private, no cameras. You can leave whenever you want. But I think you'll want to hear what I have to say." She should run. Call campus security. Call her parents. Instead, she found herself following him to an elevator, her soaked sneakers squeaking against polished concrete. "Why me?" she asked as the doors closed. "Of all the cars." "Wrong place, wrong time." The elevator opened into a restaurant that was definitely closed to the public. Soft lighting, empty tables, a single place setting by the window. "My family has been trying to marry me off for 2 years. Every event, every business dinner, there's some daughter of some executive. Yesterday my father told me if I didn't choose someone by next month, he'd choose for me. Sign the contracts himself. And I'm supposed to care because now he can't." He pulled out a chair. She didn't sit. "The photos show me with someone I chose. Someone they didn't arrange. Someone they can't control." Ariel crossed her arms. "You want to use me as a prop in your family drama. I want to offer you protection from the storm that's about to hit you, and in exchange, you help me buy time." He met her eyes. "They're going to destroy you, Ariel. The blogs, the fans, my mother's friends. They'll call you things I won't repeat. They'll find every photo, every mistake, every vulnerable moment of your life, and weaponize it. But if you're with me officially, I can shield you, control the narrative, give you legal protection. Or I could just tell everyone the truth and disappear. You could try." His expression softened. "But they found your scholarship details in an hour. How long before they find your dorm room? Your class schedule? Your family's address in Atlanta?" The mention of her family made her sink into the chair. Her mom, her dad working double shifts, her little brother who thought she hung the moon. "If I say yes, what does this deal actually look like? 6 weeks? We appear together at a few events. Let the media run with it. After that, we stage a quiet breakup. You walk away with enough money to cover your tuition through graduation. Plus, a settlement for the invasion of privacy you've already suffered. You're buying me. I'm compensating you for a problem I created." He paused. "My family built their empire on the backs of factory workers they pay pennies. They've buried lawsuits, silenced whistleblowers, destroyed anyone who threatened their image. If you think I don't see the irony of offering you money to solve a problem money created, you're wrong. But it's the only tool I have right now." His honesty surprised her. She picked up the spoon, tasting the soup that had appeared. It was incredible, and she hated that. "What happens at these events?" "A charity gala Saturday. My mother's art exhibition next week. Maybe a business dinner where my father parades me around like a trained dog." Bitterness crept into his voice. "You'd need different clothes, media training, a security detail. To teach me how to pretend to love someone I met an hour ago. To teach you how to survive what they're going to say about you." His voice went hard. "They'll say you trapped me. They'll compare your skin tone to every woman I've ever been photographed with. They'll question your intelligence, your motives, your worth. The racism will be vicious and creative and relentless." Ariel set down her spoon. "And you think I should sign up for that?" "I think it's happening whether you sign up or not. The difference is, with me, you have security. Lawyers, a team that shuts down the worst of it." He paused. "Without me, you face it alone. And they will eat you alive." Her phone buzzed. Another notification. Someone had found her high school yearbook photo. The comments beneath it made her sick. 1 week, she heard herself say. I'll give you 1 week to prove you can actually protect me. Then we talk about 6 weeks. Something shifted in his expression. Respect. Fair enough. And I want it in writing. Every detail. My lawyer will have a contract ready by tomorrow. He pulled out his phone. For tonight, I'm putting you in a hotel. They have your dorm address. My roommate is currently being interviewed by TMZ. He turned the phone to show her. Her roommate looking thrilled, talking to cameras. I'm sorry. The next 3 days were a crash course in a world she'd never wanted to enter. The hotel suite was absurd. The contract was 53 pages. The stylist who arrived Tuesday morning was a Korean woman named Minji, who took one look at Ariel's wardrobe and sighed. We're not erasing you, Minji said firmly. We're armoring you. There's a difference. Friday afternoon, Ariel sat across from Catherine, a media trainer with kind eyes and brutal honesty. They're going to ask if you speak Korean. Say you're learning. Catherine ticked off her fingers. They'll ask how you met. Stick to the script. Right place, right time. They'll ask about your family. Smile and redirect. Never defend, never explain. Just exist and let him handle the rest. So I'm decoration. You're strategic protection, and you're also a black woman dating one of the most eligible men in Korea. That's political whether you want it to be or not. Catherine leaned forward. Some people will see you and feel hope. Others will see you and feel rage. Neither reaction is about you. Remember that. Saturday arrived. The dress Minji chose was deep blue, elegant, cut perfectly to Ariel's body. When Jaemin picked her up, he stopped in the doorway. You look. He caught himself. Ready? Terrified. But let's go anyway. The gala was held at a museum that probably cost more to rent than her scholarship. Cameras everywhere. The moment they stepped out of the car, the energy shifted. Whispers, stares. Jaemin's hand settled at the small of her back, steady and warm. Smile, he murmured. You're doing perfect. Flashbulbs exploded. Someone shouted a question in Korean. Jaemin answered smoothly, his tone pleasant but firm, guiding her inside. The actual event was worse. Women in diamonds looked her up and down like she was an exhibit. Men appraised her like livestock, then dismissed her just as quickly. Jaemin introduced her to dozens of people whose names blurred together, their smiles polite and cold. Then his mother appeared. Mrs. Han was elegant, cold, and looked at Ariel like she was tracking mud across white carpet. So you're the girl from the photos? Her English was perfect, her tone a surgical knife. Mom. Jaemin's voice carried a warning. I'm just surprised, darling. Mrs. Han's smile was poison. This isn't like you. Usually you have better taste. More appropriate choices. The word appropriate landed like a slap. Ariel felt her face heat, but before she could respond, an older woman gasped behind them. Excuse me. The woman's voice shook. She was maybe 60, silver hair perfectly styled, face frozen in shock. I'm sorry, but could you turn around? Ariel exchanged a confused look with Jaemin. I'm sorry? Please. The woman's hand trembled. Your hair. Could you move your hair? Something in her desperation made Ariel comply. She swept her hair over her shoulder, exposing the small crescent-shaped birthmark behind her right ear. The woman's face crumpled. Her hand flew to her mouth. Tears spilled immediately. Oh my God. If you're still watching, thank you. Stories like this unfold slowly. Subscribing helps you catch everyone. Aunt Sua, what's wrong? Jaemin steadied the woman, alarm crossing his face. But Sua was staring at Ariel's birthmark like she'd seen a ghost rise from the dead. That mark. Her voice broke completely. My daughter had that exact mark. In that exact place, like a small moon. The ballroom noise faded to nothing. Ariel's skin went cold. I don't understand, she whispered. My daughter was taken from a hospital in Chicago, 20 years ago this August. Sua could barely speak through tears. They never found her. The police said she was probably sold, trafficked. I've been looking ever since. Every girl, every photo, every lead. 20 years. The floor seemed to tilt. Ariel grabbed the nearest table. That's impossible, she heard herself say. I have parents. I have a birth certificate. I wasn't stolen. But even as she said it, fragments surfaced like bodies from deep water. Her parents' vague answers about her adoption. The closed adoption they said they couldn't discuss. Her mother's tears whenever Ariel pushed for details. The hospital bill that arrived by mistake when she was 12. What hospital? The question came out strangled. Northwestern Memorial, August 14th, 2004. Sua stepped closer, shaking. She was 3 days old. Someone dressed as a nurse took her during a shift change. They found the uniform in a trash can. Nothing else. Ariel's birthday was August 11th, 2004. Her adoption was finalized in October. Chicago. I need air. She turned blindly. Jaemin's hand caught her elbow, guiding her through the crowd to a balcony. Cold air hit her face but didn't clear the fog in her head. Breathe, he said quietly. Just breathe. She said Chicago. Ariel's voice shook. My parents told me I was from Chicago. That the adoption was rushed because the birth mother changed her mind about keeping me. That she wanted it closed. Wanted no contact. That doesn't mean... The hospital bill. When I was 12. My mom said it was a mistake, a billing error. But I saw the name. Northwestern Memorial. She laughed, the sound broken and sharp. I asked why they got a bill from a hospital I wasn't born at. She said it was from when they picked me up. That the adoption agency used that hospital for the transfer. Jaemin went very still. Did they ever explain why it was closed? They said it was what my birth mother wanted. That she needed a clean break to move on with her life. Ariel pointed through the glass. Sua was showing Mrs. Han something on her phone, both women crying. What if there was no birth mother who changed her mind? What if I was the baby that woman lost? We don't know that yet. Then why does she have a photo of a baby with my birthmark? Why does she look at me like I'm her daughter? Jaemin's jaw tightened. We'll figure this out. DNA test, legal records, private investigators, whatever it takes. And if the truth is that the people who raised me bought a stolen baby? Her voice cracked completely. If they lied to me my entire life? If every bedtime story, every birthday, every I love you was built on someone else's nightmare? He didn't have an answer. Neither did she. The ride back to the hotel was silent. Ariel's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Her mother, her father. 23 missed calls. They'd seen the news. Sua's emotional scene had been captured by a dozen phones, already going viral with speculation. She answered on the 24th call. Ariel, baby, please let me explain. Her mother's voice was thick with tears. Did you know? Ariel cut her off. Did you know she was looking for me? Silence. Long enough to be an answer. Then quietly. We knew the adoption wasn't completely legal. The hotel room spun. Jaemin gently took the phone from her shaking hand. Mrs. Thompson, this is Han Jaemin. Ariel needs time to process this. I'll make sure she's safe. She'll call you when she's ready. He ended the call before her mother could respond. Ariel sank onto the bed, staring at nothing. They knew. All those years. Every time I asked about my birth parents, every time I wondered where I came from, they knew they'd stolen me from someone. They also raised you. Loved you. That doesn't disappear because of how it started. Jaemin sat in the chair across from her, giving her space. People do terrible things out of desperation sometimes. It doesn't make it right. But it doesn't erase 20 years either. That woman lost her baby. My parents took someone else's baby. There's no version of this where everyone gets to be okay. No, he agreed quietly. There isn't. But there might be a version where everyone gets to heal. Eventually. The DNA test took 3 days. Ariel stayed in the hotel. Couldn't face her dorm, her classes, her life. Jaemin brought food she barely touched and sat in silence when words were too heavy. The media exploded with theories. The fake relationship contract felt like a relic from another lifetime. On Wednesday, the results came back. 99.9% probability. Sua was her biological mother. Ariel stared at the paper until the numbers blurred into meaningless shapes. Then she called her parents. Not because she wanted to, because she needed answers only they could give. I need to know everything, she said when her father answered. Every single thing. No more lies. No more protection. Just truth. They told her. All of it. The desperation after 7 years of failed fertility treatments, the lawyer who promised a baby, no questions asked, for a price. The $50,000 they'd saved, borrowed, scraped together. The documents that looked official enough if you didn't look too close. The fear, when the news about the missing baby from Northwestern broke, that someone would connect the dots. The decision to love her anyway, to build a life anyway, to pretend the foundation wasn't cracked all the way through. We were wrong, her father said, his voice destroyed. God, Ariel, we were so wrong. We knew it was wrong then and we did it anyway because we wanted you so badly, because we'd wanted a baby for so long and here you were, perfect and beautiful, and we just took you. We told ourselves we were saving you, that you'd have a better life with us. But the truth is, we were selfish. We stole you. We stole 20 years from that woman. We stole the truth from you. Why didn't you tell me? Her voice was barely a whisper. When I got older, when I started asking questions, why didn't you tell me the truth? Her mother's voice came through, broken. Because we were cowards. Because we loved you so much, and we knew if you knew the truth, you might hate us. And we couldn't survive that. So we kept lying. Kept building the lie bigger and bigger until it was the only foundation we had. You didn't lose me, Ariel said, tears finally breaking through. You never really had me to begin with. I belonged to someone else, and you knew that every single day. She hung up, sat in silence. Jaemin handed her tissues without speaking. The tears wouldn't stop. What happens now? She finally asked. Whatever you want. He stood, giving her space. Sua wants to meet you. Privately. Just her. No cameras, no pressure. But only if you're ready. And if you're not ready, that's okay too. Ariel wasn't ready, but she went anyway. They met in a private room at a different hotel. Neutral ground. Sua brought a photo album, her hands shaking as she opened it. 20 years of birthday cakes for a daughter who wasn't there to blow out the candles. 20 years of preserved baby clothes and empty nurseries, and hope that refused to die. I don't expect you to call me mother, Sua said carefully, her English formal and practiced. I don't expect anything. I just wanted you to know that I looked, that I never stopped looking, that not a single day passed where I didn't think about you, wonder about you, pray you were safe and loved. Ariel touched the photos. A baby who looked exactly like her. A family that could have been hers. A life that was stolen before she was old enough to remember it. I don't know how to do this, she admitted. I don't know how to have 2 mothers, 2 families, 2 completely different truths about who I am. You don't have to know yet. Sua's smile was devastated and hopeful at once. We have time now. That's more than I've had for 20 years. It's enough. The next month was the hardest of Ariel's life. Lawyers, meetings. Her adoptive parents faced criminal charges, but Sua asked the prosecutor for mercy, saying she'd already lost 20 years to grief and didn't want to lose more to revenge. Ariel started therapy, started Korean lessons with Minji, started learning about a culture and family she'd been stolen from. Jaemin's fake relationship dissolved, replaced by something quieter and more real. He was there for the panic attacks, the days she couldn't get out of bed, the moments when she couldn't decide if she was grieving or healing, or both at once. You didn't have to stay, she told him one evening, watching the city from his balcony. I know. He handed her tea. But that wrong car brought you into my life. Seems wrong to abandon you now. Your family still wants you married off to someone appropriate. They'll survive the disappointment. He smiled slightly. Turns out some things matter more than family expectations, like choosing your own life, your own person, your own truth. She looked at him, really looked. At the fading bruise on his cheekbone he'd stopped covering. At the distance he'd started placing between himself and his father's empire. At the quiet rebellion of choosing to stand beside her when it would have been easier to walk away. You're doing it too, she said softly, building something real from something that started fake. We both are. 3 months after the gala, Ariel stood between two mothers at her 19th birthday. The Thompsons came, devastated and trying, bringing her favorite cake from childhood. Sua brought Korean dishes and stories about Ariel's biological father, who died in a car accident before she was born, never knowing his daughter was taken. Jaemin brought too many candles and a gift certificate for more therapy sessions. It wasn't perfect. It was messy and complicated and sometimes still hurt so much she couldn't breathe. But it was hers. Both families, both histories, both truths, learning to exist in the same room without destroying each other. Make a wish, Jaemin said. Ariel looked around the table, at the mother who'd lost her, at the parents who'd stolen her, at the man who'd accidentally found her, at the life she'd been given and the life she'd been denied and the life she was slowly, painfully building from the broken pieces of both. She closed her eyes and wished for the strength to forgive them all, including herself. If this story touched you, subscribe. Comment below what you would have done in Ariel's situation and hit that like button. More stories like this are coming, and I don't want you to miss a single one.